She Who Awakens by Alina Chamberlain. The Magnetic Blueprint, Part 2, Traits that Deconstruct Harmony. The Repulsion Blueprint. To build a sanctuary with a man, a woman must be aware not only of what attracts but also of what repels. Masculine psychology has specific allergic reactions to behaviors that threaten his autonomy, his status as an adult, or his peace of mind. Many of these repulsive traits stem from an unconscious shift into a maternal or authoritative role, which effectively kills sexual desire and mutual respect. In this guide, we examine the behaviors that deconstruct the masculine spirit and how to pivot back toward a state of mastery. Greed, neglect, and bad habits. The financial divide, money, is a significant psychological trigger for men. While most people are naturally concerned with resources, men are particularly sensitive to two extremes: commercialism, greed, and fiscal irresponsibility. The paradox of greed. A responsible man loves to count his money. It is a sign of his competence. However, he is repelled by a woman who is so miserly that she neglects her appearance, her home, and the enjoyment of the fruits of his labor. If he earns well and his woman refuses to dress beautifully or care for herself out of a sense of saving, he begins to wonder what he is working for. Conversely, a woman who spends impulsively on trifles without regard for the budget creates a sense of instability that leads to chronic conflict. The shadow of bad habits. Men have a much lower tolerance for bad habits in women than women do in men. While a woman might endure a partner with addictions out of a sense of duty, a man will often emotionally withdraw. He may stay out of compassion or for the sake of the children, but his love and sexual desire will die. He will eventually seek a clean partner elsewhere to find the health and peace his primary relationship lacks. Hysteria and dissatisfaction. The emotional eroder. Nothing drains a man's life force faster than a partner who is perpetually in a state of crisis or negativity. The trap of hysteria. Hysteria is a character accentuation that leaves a woman perpetually unhappy. She waits for heroic deeds and constant adoration, but no amount of sacrifice from the man is ever enough. A kind, responsible man may accept a hysterical woman as his fate, but he will live a life of silent suffering. He stays not because he is happy, but because he is afraid the next woman might be even worse. The pessimism poison. A woman dissatisfied with everyone and everything, her children, her job, her parents, is a woman who does not love herself. A man projects this negativity onto himself, assuming that if she hates the world, she must ultimately hate him too. To escape this constant strain, he will find reasons to stay away from home, retreating into work, hobbies, or the friend zone of the computer screen. The maternal trap. Overprotection, hypercontrol, and mothering. The most common romance killer is the transition from partner to mother. When a woman begins to treat an adult man like a child, she inadvertently introduces a subconsciously incestuous dynamic into the relationship, which effectively annihilates sexual attraction. The mother hen syndrome. Overprotection. Constantly asking if he's eaten, if he's warm, or sending 150 checking-in messages irritates men because it ignores their adulthood. When you pack his food into tiny containers and fuss over his clothes like he's a schoolboy, his colleagues notice, and he feels humiliated. This hypercare signals that you do not trust his ability to take care of himself. Hypercontrol. Monitoring his phone, his bank card, and his every movement violates his personal space. This behavior forces a man into childhood rebellion. He begins to lie and hide things not because he is a bad person, but because it is the only way to maintain a shred of autonomy. Know-it-alls and manipulators. The authority struggle. A relationship cannot thrive when one partner stands on a pedestal of superiority, treating the other as a student to be corrected. The "I told you so" teacher. A woman who acts as a constant teacher, pointing out his mistakes and claiming she knew better, puts the man in the position of a failing student. This stunts his development and kills his drive for success. For a man to grow, he must have the right to make mistakes and learn from them without facing a lecture. If you want a successful man, you must stop being his critic and start being his partner. Open manipulation. Manipulation is a form of emotional aggression. Whether it is clenching your heart like a dying mother to get your way, or withholding sex and affection as punishment, these actions are toxic. When a man's well-being depends entirely on a woman's shifting moods and demands, he feels disrespected. No man and no high-value woman wants to be bought with a metaphorical candy for being good.